Hello there, Pumpkinists. It's Robert once again, and now that it's officially spooky season, I thought that it was high time we took a look at the noble pumpkin. Now, this fruit is the way that our great Lord chooses to manifest himself on earth, so clearly it is quite high and holy, but what is a pumpkin? What is its history? How many are there? Why are they called that? Where did it come from? Where did it go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? Anyways, in this video I'm going to pour into your ears some delightful fun facts about nature's best bulbous orange tomato, some history surrounding it and the hollowing, and try to explain why the great pumpkin chooses this form for himself when he descends down to earth. And anyways, using my awful Cotton Eye joke from about 15 seconds ago as a rough thesis, let's get going. A pumpkin is technically a fruit, as the fruit is the seed-bearing part of a plant. But that definition, and hear me out on this, is bad. Because nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to tell me that a cucumber is a fruit without a serious beatdown coming. Except verbal, because I'm pretty weak and not good at fighting. Anyway, the popular taxonomy of a pumpkin is often a serious point of contention, and the inevitable discussion is an unavoidable part of every single pumpkin carving party. Nevertheless, everyone has their own view on this topic, and debate is inevitable and endless, like the age-old question of, is water wet? A pumpkin is, more specifically, a winter squash, meaning it's harvested at maturity in the autumn with a thicker skin and large seeds. This is why the pumpkin is harvested during October as opposed to mid-June when the summer squash are harvested. The fact that winter squash have thicker skin makes them excellent for carving as well. Likely, without this one physiological quirk, the pumpkin would not be the official spooky gourd. The pumpkin was first associated with Halloween when it was a celebration of Samhain and death, but they did not have gourds in Ireland, so they carved turnips or potatoes or apples. This tradition comes from the legend of Stingy Jack, a man who tricked the devil into buying him beer and was rewarded by God not letting him into heaven for tricking the devil. And then the devil wouldn't let him into hell, obviously, and sent him out into the night with a burning piece of coal. He put that coal into a carved turnip and wandered the land, spooking children with his turnip. That sounds weird. Nevertheless, Stingy Jack is clearly a manifestation of Spider, who played a joke on Festiva and got kicked out of the last patch, and who wandered the winter once his sister and father had perished and the only company he had left was a purple protector almost devil. He spread light throughout the world and led to even more worship of his great father. Okay, let's do some math. According to the UN Agricultural Council, the world produces 27.4 million metric tons of pumpkin per year, and they rot within 3 to 5 days. I'm going to conservatively guess that 60% of pumpkins are used in the second half of October. And Wikipedia says that the average pumpkin is 15 pounds. So 60% of 27.4 is 16.44 million metric tons. And that divided by 15 pounds per pumpkin equals about 2.19 billion pumpkins used every single day during the second half of October. And that's that. Also, while I was researching this section, I found out that Ukraine is the world's fourth largest producer of pumpkins, ahead of even the United States of America, for some reason. Just thought that was cool. The word pumpkin comes from the Greek word pepon, or a large melon, which, cool. Pumpkins, or more generally squashes, are originally from North America and are a part of the three staples of Native American food, along with corn and beans. Pumpkins have been around in Central America for at least 5,500 years and were one of the first advanced agricultural crops. They were a staple of Mexican and Eastern North American native tribes, which is a bit weird to me because if you'll recall, in the last part I said that the word for pumpkin comes from Greek. Why is there a Greek word for a native plant? I couldn't find any reason for this. All it's ever called is a pumpkin. So I think that the only conclusion that can be drawn is that the great pumpkin spread his word all over the world as to what to call his great fruit. All peoples took this, resulting in the name coming from both places at once. Once a pumpkin is carved, it takes 2 to 3 days for it to begin to disintegrate, and most of these pumpkins are just simply tossed. Many pumpkins are also made into delicious pies and pastries. They are often also roasted, and their seeds can be eaten or turned into a useful pumpkin seed oil. Even their leaves and flowers are edible. This sublime usefulness of the entire pumpkin is yet another amazing quality of this most excellent spooky shiny plant. The pumpkin is quite an amazing plant. Beyond its superbly shiny surface and its epic taste, it is the most special of plants, as the Great One himself chose to embody one. It is a squash as well, the finest of fleshy abominations. Its spooky capabilities are yet another boon to this already finest of fruits. Well, pumpkins, thanks for coming along on this spookiest of journeys. I hope that your jack-o'-lanterns are spooky, your pies are sweet, and your Halloween is sacred. Goodbye.